Alright, this is the second video of this series. We're going to continue with the second reading passage from Cambridge 17. The first question type is matching information. Matching information assesses your ability to scan for specific information. There are different ways to go about this question type, but this is my recommendation. First, read the instructions, then read the questions and highlight the keywords. Scan the keywords, that we're looking for paraphrases, and then read that part carefully and decide. And the thing that makes this question a bit difficult is that the answers could be anywhere in the text, so you need to look at the whole text. So as I mentioned earlier, we're going to look at the instruction because you may get something like this, NB, nota bene, it's an Italian word meaning attention. You may use any letter more than once. It means that for question 14, you can use paragraph A, and also for question 17, paragraph A. So this is important to know before you start. So the first question, a mention of negative attitudes towards stadium building projects. Keywords negative attitude towards means having negative opinions about something. We need to look for this keyword in the text, and also the second one, stadium building projects. So we have this information in paragraph A. Today, however, stadiums are regarded with growing skepticism. Regarded with means to consider or have an opinion about something. Growing, increasing. Skepticism is an attitude that shows you doubt whether something is useful. We also have more information in this paragraph that shows the answer is here. Construction costs can soar and have notably fallen into disuse and disrepair, talking about some stadiums. Construction building, soar, to rise very quickly to a high level, fall into, become, disuse, the condition of not being used, and disrepair, the state of being broken or old and needing to be repaired. The second question, figures demonstrating the environmental benefits of a certain stadium. Figures, numbers, demonstrating, show, environmental benefits, benefits, advantages, and certain means specific. So in this paragraph, in paragraph F, we have some names of stadiums, as you can see, and also some numbers or figures. And the last part of the paragraph we have, this is proof that a stadium can serve its city and have a decidedly positive impact in terms of reduction of CO2 emissions. Decidedly, certainly, definitely, positive, good, impact, the powerful effect that something has on somebody or something, in terms of, in relation to, or about, reduction, making something smaller, and emission, the production or sending out of light, heat, and gas. And in this case, it's about CO2 gas. Number 16, examples of the wide range of facilities available at some new stadiums. Keywords, examples, wide range of, means many different types of. Facilities available, things that provided for people to use, and also new stadiums. We have this information in paragraph E. There is a growing trend for stadiums to be equipped with public spaces and services that serve a function beyond sport, such as hotels, retail outlets, conference centers, restaurants and bars, children's playgrounds, and green space. Growing, increasing. Trend, a general change in a situation. Be equipped with, provide something with the things that are needed. Serve, to be useful in achieving something. Function, a special activity or purpose of a person or thing. And beyond, more than. The last question in this part, reference to the disadvantages of the stadiums built during a certain era. A reference to, a mention of something, to speak about something. Disadvantages of, stadiums built, and a certain era means a period of time. We have this information in paragraph D at the beginning of the 20th century. Then stadiums were developed. So we have the era here, and also some stadiums were developed. In the fourth line, we have many such stadiums. Such refers to the stadiums were developed at the beginning of the 20th century, right? Are situated in suburban areas designed for sporting use only and surrounded by parking lots. These factors mean that they may not be as accessible to the general public, require more energy to run, and contribute to urban heat. So this green part is the disadvantages mentioned here. Accessible to somebody that can be used. The general public, people, require to need, run, to operate, and contribute to be one of the causes of something. And in this case, contribute to urban heat. So as I mentioned earlier, the answers are not in the same order and could be anywhere, which makes this question type a little bit tricky and difficult. So as you can see in paragraph A, we had question 14. In paragraph B, nothing. C, nothing. In paragraph D and E, we had questions 17 and 16. And also in paragraph F, question 15, and paragraph G, no question. The second question type is summary completion. This is also very common. This question type assesses your ability to understand details and the main ideas of a section of text. So the answers are only in one part of a text, which makes it easier, and the answers are also in the same order, usually in the same order. First, you should read the instruction to know the word limit, then skim the summary to have a general understanding and to know the topic. Highlight the keywords, guess the word class or part of the speech if we need a noun, a verb, an adjective, etc., and the gaps. Then scan the keywords in the text. Again, we're mostly looking for paraphrases. And then read that part carefully and decide. Remember, scanning is not enough. It just shows you the location. In order to find the answer, you need to read that part carefully and then decide. So the instruction, choose one word only. So it's important to know. Then we look at the title, Roman amphitheaters. So this keyword directly sends us to that part of the text with the same keyword. So this word for the first time appears in paragraph B, the amphitheater. So the question, the Roman stadiums of Europe have proved very versatile. Versatile, able to be used for many different purposes. And then we have the name of one of those stadiums and then converted first into. Convert means change. Then residential area, an area where people live. And finally into an arena where spectators could watch something. So we're looking for a noun. Arena, a large flat area surrounded by seats used for sports or entertainment. And spectator, a person who watches an activity, especially a sports event, without taking part. So like I mentioned earlier, we have this information in paragraph B, so we need to read this part carefully to make sure. So in the second line, we have the best example of just how versatile stadiums can be. Built by the Romans in 90 AD, it became and the answer is fortress. For the second one, was then transformed into a village containing more than 200 houses, converted back into an arena for the staging of something. Stage here means to arrange and perform a play or show. So staging of bullfights. This is what spectators could watch. So question 19, the first keyword is Verona. So again, it helps us to find the answer quickly. And then famous today as a venue where. Famous, known, and recognized by many people. And also we have another keyword, performed. And Lucas Amphitheater, used for many purposes, including the storage of. Storage means the putting and keeping of things in a special place for use in the future. So the answer is right after that. Is currently considered one of the world's prime sites for. The answer is opera. And the second question, the keyword Lucca, it helps us to find it quickly. The site evolved in a similar way to Arius, variously used as houses, a salt depot, and a prison. So the answer here is salt because of these paraphrases. Prime, main or most important. Evolve, to change or develop gradually. variously, an adverb, in several different ways, and depot, and that T is silent, a building where supplies or vehicles are kept. Next, question 22. It is now a market square with, and homes incorporated into the remains of the Roman amphitheater. Incorporate, to include something as part of something larger. Remains, pieces or parts of something that continue to exist when most of it has been used, destroyed, or taken away. The answer is in paragraph C, right after the previous one. It became a market square, so exactly the same phrase. Remain embedded in the various shops and residences. Incorporated into, in the text we have embedded in, and instead of homes we have residences, a formal word to mean home. So as I mentioned earlier, the answers are usually in the same order. As you can see, in paragraph B, we had the answer to questions 18 and 19, and in paragraph C, we had questions 20, 21, and 22. And the last question type is multiple choice. This type is choose two answers out of 5 choices. It's also called selection or pick from a list, but mostly it's called multiple choice. So these steps: first, you should read the instruction to know the number of choices, then find the topic in the question, scan the text for the topic of the question. It helps you to find the location quite fast. Read the part carefully after you've found it. Read the options and highlight the keywords. Check the options one by one and then decide. Again, the answers appear in the same order, which makes it a bit easier. Let's begin. We need to choose 2 letters here. Let's look at the topic. Comparing 20th century stadiums to ancient amphitheaters in section D. And which 2 negative features does the writer mention? Fortunately, here we have the specific section, section D, which makes it easier to find the answer. So in this section, we need to read the whole part carefully, look at the options one by one, and decide if they're mentioned or not. So the first part of the paragraph, we have, there are many similarities between modern stadiums and the ancient amphitheaters intended for games, but some of the flexibility was lost at the beginning of the 20th century. So this is one of the negative parts. The second one, many such stadiums are situated in suburban areas. These factors mean that they may not be as accessible to the general public, require more energy to run, and contribute to urban heat. So these are also the disadvantages. Now let's look at the options. Option A, they are less imaginatively designed. Imaginatively means in a way that is new and original. We had no information about that, so it's not the answer. B, they are less spacious, means they're not large and with a lot of space. Again, there is no information in this paragraph about that. The third one, they are in less convenient locations, means near or easy to get to. That's exactly the point mentioned in this paragraph. So we have these stadiums are situated in suburban areas and they may not be as accessible to the general public, so they're not near or easy to get to. Next one, they're less versatile. Versatile means flexible, to be able to use for different purposes. That's exactly another point mentioned in this paragraph in line 2. So we have our 2 options. We don't need to read the last one, but let's read it. They are made of less durable materials. Durable means able to last and be used for a long time without becoming damaged. Again, there is no point, so the answers are C and D. So, and the next one, we also need to choose 2 letters. Let's look at the topic. Which 2 advantages of modern stadium design does the writer mention? We need to scan the advantages of modern stadium design and check the options one by one. So the first one, offering improved amenities for the enjoyment of sport events. Offer to provide amenity, something such as a swimming pool or shopping center that is intended to make life more pleasant or comfortable for people. And enjoyment, the feeling of enjoying something. In paragraph E, we have some information about hotels, retail outlets, and so on, other functions beyond sport, but there is no information about the enjoyment of sport events, so this is not the answer. The second one, bringing community life back into the city environment. Bring back to return. Life means energy and excitement. That's exactly the information in paragraph E. And helping to regenerate urban spaces. To regenerate, to improve a place or system, especially by making it more active or successful. For city environments, in the text we have urban spaces. So this is the answer. Next one, facilitating research into solar and wind energy solutions. Facilitate, to make something possible or easier. Solar, using the energy from the sun to produce electric power. And solution, the answer to a problem. So we have some information about this point in paragraph E and F, about panels, wind turbines, and so on, but there is no information about research. So this is not the answer either. Moving on, in D, enabling local residents to reduce their consumption of electricity. Enable, to make something possible. Local residents, people live in a particular area. Reduce, make something become smaller. And consumption, use. We have some information about reduction of carbon dioxide, but there is no information about reduction of consumption of electricity. So this is not the answer either. And the last one, providing a suitable site for the installation of renewable power generators. So suitable, right or appropriate for a particular purpose. Site, a place where a building is. Installation, fixing equipment in position so that it can be used. Renewable, can be produced as quickly as they're used. Power, electricity. And generator, a machine that produces electrical power. We have the exact information in paragraph F in these parts. Alright, hope you found it useful. This is a great way to know how paraphrasing works in IELTS reading, and also to read and record vocabulary so that you can use them in your speaking or in your writing. And also, probably you will see these words again and again in other reading texts or other listening texts.